Okay, both players are ready as our red bracket. Fractal and Myles are ready to go here in round one. Let us get them counted down and underway in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Myles, of course, your 9-time CTM major, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling them all masters, whatever. CTM, whatever. Okay? What are counted as major tournaments in the CTM cinematic universe. Fractal has won 9 of them. Going for number 10 and has won 3 in a row. So is going for an unprecedented, a first ever 4 majors in a row. Corian has done it twice. And I think that's it. Has anyone else done it at all? Our stat people will tell us. 114 for Fractal, 114, 760 for Myles. So pretty good starts for each. So not actually unprecedented. Yeah, I mean, there's precedent in the sense of getting multiple in a row, but 4 has not happened. He is going for an unprecedented 4 in a row, right? The 4 is unprecedented. The 3 is fairly precedented. Myles, of course, has not won a CTM Masters event, did finish second in the Doge month last year. And of course, Myles, prolific TikToker, probably the most followed, I guess, Tetris player across all social media platforms. Doesn't play much actual classic Tetris as far as I can see on his channels, but mostly sand Tetris. I comment every time. 195 for Fractal, 189 for Myles. Cute Pup Jesus just subbed on Twitch. Thank you very much. Sandtrix. Now, these two have an interesting history in CTM. They've played against one another 3 times in the CTM cinematic universe. Unless you count CTM PAL, but I'm talking about CTM major tournaments. They faced each other 3 times. It was all in round 1, and it was 3 months in a row in 2022. So they faced each other 3 times in a row, June, July, and August of 2022. They faced off in round 1 every time, and Fractal won every time. So Myles looking to get some vengeance here, trying to turn the tables, flip the script, and take out Nemesis here. 282 Myles, 357 Fractal. Myles would love nothing more than to knock this Fractal down a peg. Oh, nice adjustment for Myles for that L to make room for that T. He's going to keep that stack nice and flat. Long bar over for both. They Tetris with the same piece. Simul Tetris, simul piece. Oh, that is a bad looking thing down the bottom. Tetris just subbed on Twitch. Sometimes when I'm down, I always remember that vandweller is my old pal, and I couldn't read the rest of it. So, still trying to figure out what to do with those messages. All right, we got some roommate meta happening. 473 Fractal, 342 Myles. Fractal he's not shook. He's just kind of bopping along. Long bar over for Myles. That is a triple down the right side, and Myles a little bit frustrated by his board at the moment. The winner of this red bracket will face Dog playing Tetris in the semifinals, so does not get any easier. And then, of course, the winner of this game will have to play either Scooty or Pixel Andy. This is a stacked first round bracket. 520 for Fractal through 106, 373 for Myles, whose troubles continue. Gets a dirty Tetris and just wants to expose that hole in an efficient way, that column 3 little hole. But has been playing a few rows off the bottom for a while. There's a couple of Tetrises in a row. And there we go. Fractal, of course, 572. Using those long bars with aplomb. All right, so Myles, all right, he's going to get set up here. Going to take a skim. Yes, there is a Tetris for Myles. He's going to move that well over to the right side where it belongs on row 1 and column 10 is where you want it. 619 transition for Fractal. Myles, one line away from the first 19 transition of the match. He's building. He's filling out that left. He's stalling as much as he can. Ends up having to take a triple for safety. Bring that stack down as we head into 19. He's at 478. Fractal 623. So about 150,000 point lead. Long bars over for both of them. And so, yeah, I don't know when the semis and finals are going to happen. We'll make it happen. We're just about 5 weeks away. Zelazawi has gifted a tier 1 sub to Felix. Thank you so much, Zelazawi. Fancy meme with the 1 bit. And again, thanks again, Tetris, for the tier 1 resub, 32 months. Player 425618 with the cheer, 25 bits, 764 Fractal. Myles with a Tetris, so he's about same lines and about 141,000 points behind is Myles. So still within shouting distance, not too concerning. A lot can happen. Myles looking for CTM win number 1. Or championship number 1, and a tough road to get through. 711 for Myles, 851 for Fractal. Mari has gifted a channel membership on YouTube to Oguz Han. So thank you so much, Mari, for the gift sub. 913 for Fractal, 773 for Myles. All right, Myles at 776. Still about the same difference in score, about 140,000. Fractal with the Tetris. Myles just going to take a triple to transfer that well over to the right side. Their Tetris Fractal. He's got the max out on 26. 813. 818 for Myles. About 3 lines behind. Ends up having to take a triple. Can't use the bar for the Tetris. Gets another one for a Tetris, though. A56 Fractal. A45. I can talk today. Tetris Fractal. All right, Tetris is over for each, and a couple for Fractal. B49. He's on level 28. Myles is left side of the board. Kind of a mess here. 9 lines to go till 29, so he wants to bring that down as much as possible and just going to go start chopping wood. All right, so Myles got a workable board into 29 at 975. Pesky little gap there, though, in column 1 at the bottom. Right near the origin of the grid. B96 for Fractal on 29, so he's now up over 200,000 points. He's got the 1.1. Myles now with a clean board. Zelazawi gifted his tier 1 sub to Mark. Thanks, Zelazawi. Tetris for Fractal, C45. Myles trying to get something going here, but a couple of misdrops, or at least one misdrop and a dead drop in the middle. And he's going to clean up from that. He's going to need to start scoring because Fractal's got the D, a 1.3. Myles falling further and further behind, but Fractal running into a little bit of trouble. All right, he's exposed those couple of holes on the left side. He's going to get to work here. And try to, well, I mean, more important for Fractal to just stay alive and keep scoring. You know, he's got Myles in kind of a bind. Such a good lead, but Fractal's board kind of breaking down. We'll see if he can downstack this. And I think the answer is going to be no. Fractal cannot downstack this. D39 for Fractal is the top out. Myles needs 200,000 points. He's got 40 lines to get there. So Tetris is here worth in the 40,000s. That misdrop for Myles is going to slow him down a little bit. So Myles at B58 needs to chase down. D40 is the target. He's got 27 lines to go there, and he just kind of keeps digging. So he's going for that center rail Tetris and gets it. C11, making it interesting here. Myles gets another Tetris down the right side. C57, C60. He needs 80,000 points. That's 2 Tetrises. He's trying to keep it open. Gets it. Tetris D09. One more will do it. Myles can chase this down with another Tetris. He's set up for a long bar, over for the Tetris, and Myles is good. In game number 1, he gets it, and Myles is thrilled. GG's. He is thrilled to take a game off of Fractal. GG's to Myles. Great chase down with over 200,000 points when Fractal topped. Myles up 1 game to none over Fractal. Let's go 3-1 Tetris. Wait, did we actually get a 3-2-1? I'm contacting you regarding your car's extended warranty? Who? I thought that was eliminated. We added that in, and a player got really mad because they said, oh, it was too distracting and I lost because of the countdown. And so Professor L said, well, we gotta take that out. I'm like, really? But somehow it's left in. So there's the vestigial kind of car's warranty. All right, we got to stop talking about it so we don't affect the players. All right, Tetris here for Myles. He's at 69,000. There's one for Fractal, 91,000. Is that the first ever car's warranty? Well, it was a lot more common back before it got nerfed. Ivan Leichkov says, I'm contacting you regarding your cartridge's extended warranty. That's pretty funny. 136 for Fractal, 96,000 for Myles. All the funny ones were added back a couple weeks ago. I don't know by who. I didn't ask for it. I'm done being funny with the countdown. I got yelled at. All right, Myles gets a Tetris over there. Is he going to scoop that in? No, he's going to wait for a J piece for that middle. And he gets it 1 piece too late. Kind of made some, well, that T would be nice. But no T comes. So he's just going to bring it down. Drama-free Tetris here on level 18. 171 for Myles, 228 for Fractal. Tetris is gifted a tier 1 sub to Vicious Rhubarb. Thank you, Tetris. Fractal just flinging that piece to the left. I mean, it looks so impressive still. Every time I see it, it doesn't look possible, and yet it is. Fractal's going to take, I believe that might have been burn number 1. 278 for Fractal through 54. 177 for Myles through 50. He's going to get that center well dirty Tetris. 199. And, Myles played the game right in that game 1. Did not want to go... Oh, look, he's trying to spin stuff in there and just kind of keep this manageable. But, those later Tetrises worth a lot more. And just kind of, held out. Got to where he needed to go. Got a fortunate... From his perspective, top out. There's Myles with another Tetris down the middle, 253. Then he was able to chase it down. Tetris gifting another sub to Sodium Overdose. Thank you, Tetris. 253, Myles, 392 for Fractal. Dan V says 8 Masters plus 1 Lone Star. It was a major. It has been retconned into a major. I mean, look at who was there. It's a major. And, it's my tournament, and I call it a major, so. What's good about it, though, is that people can argue about it, and that's good for engagement. So, you got to have, contrived controversy to bring engagement to your channel. 509 Fractal, 310 for Myles. Tetris Myles, 333. I need someone to talk me out of something that I'm thinking about, and that is having a monthly DAS tournament. Is that too much Tetris? It would be called DAS Masters. And I don't know. I just, I was watching those DAS matches they had, with Harry and Sharky and Jeff and Green Tea, and I'm like, there just needs to be a regular monthly showcase that is a true, like, S tier regular tournament happening every single month for DAS. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like we should do it every single month. 648 for Fractal. He's got 5 lines to go. 475 now, 499 transition for Myles. Stack needs a little bit of help. 674 transition for Fractal. But then how do we work that into the community tournament structure and all? I got a lot to think about, but I want to see it. And don't let your memes be dreams. Wasn't there a DAS monthly? Whatever happened to it? Well, people start up all kinds of things with good intentions. Like, oh, this is going to be it. And then, life happens. And speaking of happening, Myles is going to top out here on level 20. Just did not bring a good board into, and Fractal's good. You can top out. Myles did not bring a good board into 19. And it just kind of spiraled from there. Well, I'm not anticipating it having a giant prize pool, but if we could get to 500, and it would not be top 16. It would be a top 8 tournament. All right, both players are ready. What was once a best of 5, now a best of 3 between Fractal and Myles here in round 1. Go ahead and get him started in 3, 2, 1 Tetris. So yeah, I think there wouldn't be any, if you already qualified for CTM with DAS, then you could play. You can play both, and you can use the same qualifier for your qualifier into both if you play DAS, but you would have to do a separate DAS qualifier if you're not qualified with DAS. I think is how it will go, and you can play in both, but you don't have to. The problem is, players are already stretched pretty thin, as Fractal says, but they don't have to play DAS. They don't have to play everything. Play it once in a while. $91,000 as we get underway for Fractal. 114. He's got a perfect start. Myles with a Tetris. Gonna get him to 94,000 through 20. Why is Lone Star a big thing? Because of the quality, the caliber of the competition. If Lone Star, and I expect Lone Star not to be as big a deal this year because of its, nearness in time to CTWC, it could eat up people's travel budget. So I'm not anticipating counting it as, I will. If the level of competition is high, it will count as a major. If it's not, then it will just be a nice romp. So I will decide that basically the day of. Blue Scooty's going. All right, well then it's a major. Because you can't just say everything's a major just because you want it to be, right? I mean, the monthly Masters event always a major because it is. But Lone Star, it's kind of like, all right, if we get the people, it will. CTWC basically ruining Lone Star. Thank you, CTWC. It has more top players than other local tournaments, yes. It has in the past. 240 for Myles, 276 for Fractal. Again, I don't know exactly what to expect because of the proximity and time to CTWC. That is a legitimate concern. But that's okay. I mean, it's still worth having, even if it's more local players. It's just a fun thing to do and be with everybody. So. 325 for Fractal, 285 for Myles, as we are about halfway to the level 19 transition. People loving the Vits. Jasmine loves the Vits from Fractal. I got to build out the schedule for Lone Star because it's going to be a little bit different this year because Friday is a day at the expo when it was not before. So we had that Friday to do stuff, but we're obligated to have Tetris there. So I don't know. I got to figure out what the schedule is going to be. I would like to have each day be somewhat self-contained, but I don't know. We'll check. We'll figure it out. 431 Myles, 462 for Fractal. Like, I don't want people to have to go to every single day to play in one tournament. So I would like them to be self-contained days if possible. So I got to figure it out. 431 for Myles, 507 for Fractal. And we're just about near the 100 line mark. They're both going to Tetris. Myles back by about 54,000 points. That's 2.5 or so Tetrises. Maisie says, I'm sad I can't play in CTM events because I'm bad. I can only play along, but somehow pretending to play against these guys is really good practice. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You can sit here and, oh, nice key tuck there for Myles. Kingsman is smiling somewhere. But yeah, if you have the tournament cartridge, you can enter the same piece sequence. Nice Vits there for Fractal, the true Vits. Jasmine loves it. And there's a long bar Tetris for Fractal. And you can play along. And it is good practice. So I don't know. I could see us doing a DAS tournament, a stupid Tetris Monthly, and and then the championship or whatever. 638 transition for Myles, very good. Fractal has got 691 and is trying to get a 700K transition. There is a long bar over, and Fractal has a 715 transition. 740 for Fractal, 671 for Myles. Myles was just shaking his head like, man, what do I got to do? There's one Tetris over for Fractal. He's going to fill out that column 9 and get a Tetris here. 792. 792, of course, you all know. I can't, whenever I see it, I can't help but mention that as the number of cards in a Topps baseball card set in the 80s. 777 for Myles. I can't help but mention it. It's like in me. I have no self-control. I gotta mention it. 900 on level 22 for Fractal. 809 for Myles. He's gonna Tetris in 838. These paces are insane. Another Tetris for Myles. 867. Fractal having to waste a few lines digging. There is a Tetris for Fractal. Won't quite have enough for a level 23 max. And of course, this max would take him into 24 anyway. Long bar over Tetris Myles. 927. Oh, great move with that bar to get that over into column 3 in a Tetris for Myles. 957. Closing in a bit in score on Fractal. Fractal with the max out on 24. Myles with the max out on 25. Myles a little ahead in the sequence by like 8 or 9 lines. Tetris for Fractal, A58. A52 for Myles. All right, Myles with some cleanup to do. A little tricky, kind of. Oh no, that long bar to column 3. Gets a bar in there for a double, and this is gonna need a Myles dig, and that is not gonna be possible. Myles gonna top out at A59 on level 26, and Fractal is good in game number 3. GG's. I mean, huge transition pace. Myles just knows he's got to put his foot on the gas, because Fractal is a formidable opponent, high pace opponent. You got to make up that, those points sometime. Myles just a few too many gaps in the stack. All right, Fractal with a little mini mullen here. And now let's see, is he going to try to save SMS here, or is he going to mullen it out a bit? All right, Fractal gets a long bar over to the right side. He's got the E. And Fractal going a little bit nuts here. He's looking for that rollover, like on 32 or something. No, he's gonna top out. It is game number 4. Fractal and Myles. Myles needs to win this one to force a deciding game 5. Let's go. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Killswitch says, what are these codes? Well, these are the codes that the players enter into the competition cartridge in order to get the same piece sequence. It's only a matter of time before someone memorizes like all 11 billion of them or whatever it is. You can, Fancy Meme, you can ask that question in the Discord. Go to ctm.gg/discord. 114 for Myles through 21. 95,000 for Fractal. Myles' mom bringing another plate of ziti, maybe buttered noodles or something. Bye, Mom. Call me. All right, 160 for Myles, 140 for Fractal. Hey, it's the red bracket. I can say what I want. All right, Tetris over for Myles. He's got 207. Fractal gets one down, 168. All right, we don't need that. We don't need that at all. YouTube, honestly. Tetris Fractal 220, 254. Other Tetris Myles 301. So good pace here for Myles. You can get a Retron for 40 bucks. You can get a Classic N for like 25 bucks on Amazon. That's what I use. That's what I bring to a Lone Star. That's what I think is the most reliable clone console. It does not run off emulation. It actually like plays the cart right from the cart. I have like 16 of them and they're great. All right, Myles with an annoying gap in the middle of the stack. I'm trying to build around that. Triple down the right side, 402. And that gap is now at the bottom where Myles is playing one row off of the bottom. And he's going to get a Tetris 425. Tetris for Fractal 405, 429 Myles. All right, Myles, that was a very interesting J piece that Myles is now going to have to work around. And this is going to allow Fractal to spring into the lead at 496. Myles gets a long bar down the middle. There is another center well single. Oh, and Myles is setting up. And he's passing multiple long bars to set up this Tetris. And he ends up having to take it anyway. So he's trying to get that lead back. Didn't quite work out. Looking for a T to keep that center gap exposed. And Myles kind of in center well hell. And you just end up kind of, it can work. If it works right off the bat, you're good. But you can end up costing extra burns as well. So a little bit of a risky move for Myles. Doesn't pan out, but he is still alive and playing. And that is good for him. 494 for Myles. 590 for Fractal. All right. Myles going to uncover that right side well. He's got it well established in column 10. There's a Tetris for Fractal. He's got a 614. Myles will transition in at 523. And Fractal will transition in at 616 with a double. Fractal setting up long bar column 9. Myles going to take a triple for safety here. Get a Tetris down the right side. Fractal finally into level 20 at 648. Myles now into 21 at 617. Another Tetris Fractal 681. Fractal going to miss an S-spin. That's going to cause a little bit of extra burning here. All right, Myles in concentration mode here. Going to expose that Tetris. It gets a dirty Tetris, Myles. Beautiful. Needs another one, though, because he's got gaps all in the mid portion of his stack. Long bar over Tetris Myles. All right, he's back down to safety. Still a lot of gaps here to take care of, but score fairly close. 727 Fractal, 713 Myles. Although Myles is, ahead in the sequence by about 8 or 9 lines. And now even more than that. Fractal waiting out the bar, gets it. 757 and another one, another Tetris, 787. Fractal with a Tetris, 847. Clean board Myles, looking to get set up. There's a Tetris Myles, 826. Trying to go center well. Oh, adjustment there with that bar at the last second. Okay, Myles back by about 103,000 points. A lot of Tetris to be played. He's set up for a dirty. And no, not a dirty triple. Sorry about that. I didn't see that gap there, especially on these level 26 and 27s. It's hard for me to see. It's like, that's my green level, right? That's my charcoal. Since I'll never see the actual charcoal, that's charcoal for me. A dripple, indeed. A48 for Fractal. He's set up on the right side. He's on level 27. He's got the max out A83. Fractal is in to 29 at 870. Needs to bring this down a bit. Exposes that hole. He's going to go for the Tetris, and he gets it. Very aggressive for Myles, but it's going to pay off now. He's trying to get another one here. He's set up for one, column 5, and he's going to get it. Fractal at C27, 959 for Myles. Over 200,000 point lead for Fractal. Fractal with a Tetris, C72. There's still 70 lines to go. Myles did chase basically this amount down, or a little more than this in game 1. So kind of hoping for a repeat of game 1. Fractal, C97. About to get the 1.3. He's got the 1.3 with the D00. Myles gets a long bar in. That's going to be good for a triple, and he's just going to need to bring this down and start scoring. He's got the max out finally on 34. Fractal still at 33, and that's going to be a factor. Myles' board starting to climb a bit. Tetris for Fractal, E00 on 34. Myles' board again, starting to climb. And this looks like it could be spiraling for Myles. And yeah, that Z to the left is not going to make it. Myles is going to top out at A33, level 35, and Fractal is good. We'll see if Fractal decides to mullen this out or drop the controller. And that is, I don't think he cares because he's moving on to round 2. Fractal is good. Myles, GG's. Tough draw in round number 1. Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. Join our Discord server, the largest classic Tetris community online, at ctm.gg/discord, and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.